Hi there. If you are a business owner and have a registered business in the US and you're operating the business in the States, and now you're filing taxes before the April the 15th, then this video is for you.
Your value increases when you add value to others.
I want to walk you through some important points that might help you out when you're filing your taxes. And then, as I'm currently using bench accounting and taxes, I also want to make sure that I'm kind of giving a review of how they operated with me. And I did not have a positive feedback for them because, no, quite honestly, I had a lot of troubles, getting my books sorted and a delay in the books and so on. So I want to give you an outset of how it worked out, why it didn't work out with bench accounting, so that if you were to use something similar, the things that you need to think about as a startup, or if you've just registered your business in the US and you're worried about filing your taxes. So always having someone who's local to kind of consult with, that's always a great help. I definitely had a couple of friends, or a friend that could actually help me in terms of understanding and do some research and help me out. So before going into filing the taxes in the US, you need to understand what type of company you are and how are you registered. So are you a C corp, an S corp, or are you an LLC? Um, or you're a private limited company, or you're a sole proprietor. So understand all these things, because everything is different and all the federal taxes for each of these companies are different. And the form, the tax, like the percentage of tax you pay for these different registrations are different. So, and also the forms vary from what form you have to use. So I currently use I'm registered as a C corp, so I use the 5472 and 1120 to file my taxes. But then yes, so you gotta have a research and try to understand, or just ask your accounting firm that you work with. They'll probably be able to help you out. Now, when it comes to going into reviewing the bench accounting, see, quite honestly, bench accounting and their software or web platform that they have built is amazing. It's very clear, it's very intuitive. The user interface is very simplistic, and so it makes things very easy as a founder. So me working from outside the US, as I own more than, like, I own 100% of the company and I'm outside the States, which makes it a completely different way of operating for me. So I cannot um, I cannot file my taxes as if I were there in the US. So it's completely different. So bench accounting won't take care of that for me. So you need to understand these things. And I never knew these things in the initial, because that was not communicated properly. So that made it difficult to have a positive outlook on when working with bench as well, because I thought, no, they would they would get my books sorted and then they'll file my taxes. So obviously that didn't work out. So their platform is really good. And then you have a platform which you can kind of engage with, and put in all your notes for every expense that you have. You can link it to Stripe, you can link it to your bank account. So that's very nice. And I really think the platform can stay that way, but no, it's the service side of things that really needs an improvement. So but then when you look at their experiences, like my experience in terms of the experience that I've faced as a customer and their customer experience, although I have a couple of other friends that I've spoken to who also have certain issues with bench, and I've also seen that their reviews are not that great in terms of reciprocating with their businesses that they work with. That's been a problem. That wasn't an issue for me in the early on stages. I think they were really consistently working with me, and I had a good account manager who was communicating with me. And but then what happened is you lately started seeing 2 or 3 different people change, and once you started seeing change, obviously there's a break in the system, there's a break in the process. And so to catch them up and everything, that is always hard work. So in terms of my experience, it's been bad because they what they promised at the start was, to entirely take care of everything from start to finish when it came to, taxes and accounting, which is not the case right now. And so they've changed that side of things, and I didn't know about it. And so because this is my first year in business, I'm also navigating all those things as I'm going. So yeah, so they also have they've got my financial package and everything ready, but then not as per the requirements in terms of, now you look at the notes that I've put up, or I've spoken to them and I've had a discussion with them into how we categorize certain expenses, and how we are certain payments that went out. They've mismatched it, and so what's happened is it looks like I'm having to pay a lot more in taxes than the actual, because you pay taxes on the profit. When it comes to the C corp, you're paying taxes 21% of taxes on your profit, so your profit margin is showing much higher, so which ends up making you look like you're making more money than you're actually making, so you're ending up paying more taxes. So that's something that you need to be really careful about. You need to go through the books, have a review or two. But I could not have that with bench accounting because they only got back to me with my books, my financial package for filing my taxes. They only got back with it 4 working days before the tax filing. The tax filing is on Monday the 15th, and they got back to me literally on that last week. So which means I don't have time to actually go ahead and look through everything and then file the taxes. And a lot of the companies that you work with will always ask you a week to file your taxes and paperwork. So because of that, I'm having to kind of look into, push for an extension. But know that all these things that you're working to do, like an extension or anything, you need to do it with reputable people. So just make sure that, because they need to have codes and they need to be licensed people. So make sure you get right people to work on it. If your current accounting or taxes, company is not actually willing to do it because you're an outside founder or so on. So these are things that you need to look at. And then they got the basics in the books that were wrong, like things that were expenses and they were marked as expenses, they marked it as retained earnings, or no, these are things that is pretty basic for them to kind of look into and kind of solve by themselves. Like, because there's notes that have been taken, and I've already had a couple of meetings, so these are things that should not come up again and again. And so even if we did have back and forth, it should be sorted. And then you never have a timely response. They have a portal where you can message, but you never really have a timely response with your team. So, whoever is your account manager, you message them, they reply after 2 days. By that time, you're already onto something else, or you want to make sure everything is proper. So you go back and you check, and they still haven't responded exactly to the question. And a couple of times when I've actually set a meeting, I've ended up going into the meeting and no one's there, or they've canceled it without notice. And I don't know why they cancel meetings, because when you cancel a meeting with a client, you definitely let them know that there's a prior commitment or whatever, or I'm not able to make it. No, there's just a straight up cancellation in the meeting, and you don't get to rebook because they're never available. You can only book maybe 2 weeks or a week down the line, or a week and a half down the line. By that time, your deadlines are already creeping up. So that is really confusing, and that's really hard for a founder who's situated outside. And if you're really focusing on helping a business owner who's sitting outside, and you're focused on those on startups that are doing that, then you really need to understand that, like, we need support from from them on a timely manner, because when we do bring up things, we want to make sure it's noted, and we want to make sure things are corrected at the right time. So yeah, so those are my I think those are my biggest drawbacks, and I think those have been the biggest drawbacks, because I look at other companies. Don't leave your accounting too late. So I would say always keep your things updated. So I think Bench allows that in their platform, but it's just how they manage those things that might need some tweaks and changes. in my learning, things I think that need to be considered, I have like 4 points that I think really need to be considered. Check what forms you need to submit. For C corp, like I said, 5472 and 1120, that's what I'm filling. But apart from that, make sure you have timely accounting for every month. So every month, close your books on time and make sure the data is collated at the end of every month, instead of waiting till the end of the year and then you're trying to match everything, where things go, what do we put it under, and what are the expenses, what is the money that's actually been taken out of the business, what's the profit. So make sure all these things, your balance sheet, your income statement, everything is checked well and good before, or do it every month. Do it in a timely manner so that you set time for yourself as a business owner to actually get that done. And make sure you're actually going with people who can actually file for you, because again, like I said, there's licenses, and then there are things that you need to take into consideration when it comes to you as a founder. If you're a founder and you own 25% of the business and you're outside the US, then the rules are kind of different for you. So how you file, and people who are filing have to know those things. Otherwise that becomes difficult and tricky for you. And then obviously when you're filing taxes, if you are filing for an extension, like in my case, it's only for the forms that it's only for filing your taxes, and only for the forms that you have to submit that you're filing an extension for. You cannot file for an extension on paying the money at that point. If you filed for an extension, that does not give you time to actually go ahead and just wait till October the 15th to pay for your taxes. Taxes need to be calculated and paid for. So you need to calculate and pay for it. And once you've done the calculations and paid for it, then you can file for your extension. So that's the procedure. So make sure you check into that, and make sure you actually look into that properly. Yeah, and that's it from my side, guys. And if you think you have any questions regarding that, or if you have any issues or concerns that you want to ask me about, even if you want to have a more detailed discussion about who to go with, or because I'm currently shifting, and I'm currently using other accounting firms as well, and tax firms. So I can dive deep into guiding you, as well as setting things right on how to choose the right partner. So here's the information. I hope you found this useful. Hit like, share, subscribe, and do everything so that we can reach out to many other people. I hope this video was also useful to you if you're a founder, or if you're looking to actually start. These are things or learnings that I take 1 year in business. I feel that I wish I'd seen more of videos like this when I started, which wasn't the case. So I guess I'm trying to journey this, and I'm trying to mark these things in my in my blog, so that I can actually help someone who's actually starting up right now. So cheers, guys. Take care, and I hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye.